What is up, everybody, and welcome to FLW Videos. I'm so excited to be doing this episode. We've got the first wave of Generation 5 Pokemon being introduced into the game. Go ahead and check out this chart. Let me know if there is a Pokemon that you would like for me to cover. I'm definitely going to be taking the more meta-relevant Pokemon and covering them, but your comment is going to directly contribute to which Pokemon I cover first. Make sure to put that in the comment section below. But today, we are going to be talking about the Pokemon Chandelure. How excited I am about this and why you should be excited about this Pokemon as well. A little bit of a background related to this Pokemon. It is currently the only one that will require that Unova Stone. You are going to have to get that. You can get it from the research breakthrough boxes, at least now. Of course, we know it's going to be much like the Sinnoh Stone. It will slowly be released out into PvP, at least a little bit later, but that's something to definitely consider. So yes, it is technically a little bit on the rarer side, but I can promise you the results are going to be worth it. You are going to want to have Chandelure, and let's go ahead and talk about why. If you enjoyed this type of episode, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Let's go ahead and dive into it by taking a look at the Pokemon in general. We've got Chandelure with a max SP of 3,268. As far as the typing is concerned, we've got a dual typing of Ghost as well as Fire. We are going to be taking a look at its performance as a Ghost type attacker as well as a Fire type attacker, because there are definitely going to be some excellent results that we will take a look at. So let's go ahead and take a look firstly at something that could potentially nerf it that's not even necessarily related to the stats, and it's something that Niantic loves to pull on us, and that is centered around the moveset. When we take a look at it, we've got Hex from the Ghost typing as well as Shadow Ball. I would say that Hex is a little bit of a question, like it could potentially hold back Chandelure for the fact that there are better moves like Shadow Claw as well as Lick. Hex is not the best Ghost type move that you want to have, so technically it is held back in that regard, but it still could perform better despite that. We're going to have to wait and see. And then secondly, we've got Fire Spin as well as Overheat. Definitely good on this one. Of course, a move like Blast Burn is better than Overheat, but that's only available to certain Pokemon, so we're not going to hold it against Chandelure. Now that we have talked about the moveset, let's dive into the stats so we can see exactly how this Pokemon is created. We've got that attack stat at 271. That is insanely good. Not just in general, like, oh, Mewtwo's got 300, but from this typing as well as that Fire typing, that is insane. Keep that in mind. And then we've got the stamina stat. Yeah, the big red flag, 384th rank on that stamina. So definitely going to be a little bit of a glass cannon. But when you end up putting all of that together, we've got an overall rank of 108th in Pokemon Go. So it's still pretty much kind of not the best, but it's definitely leading the pack if you want to look at it overall throughout the entire generations. But let's see it in practice. Sometimes Pokemon may not appear to be very good. They may appear to be a glass cannon, but they can still perform very well. So let's take a look at it first from that Ghost typing. We've got Mewtwo to run a simulation against. You're not going to have to look very far in this case. We've got Chandelure in at that #1 spot. How cool is that? It is finally taking down Giratina Origin Form, but there is one caveat, something that you do need to consider, and that is the number of feints. We've got 32 feints versus 21 feints. So Giratina Origin Form is still going to be the best bulky option if you've got a low number of trainers and you want to save up on revives. Definitely go with Giratina Origin Form. But at least in this case with Chandelure being a glass cannon, it's worth it to some extent because you are going to gain the performance as far as the time to win is concerned. You're just going to sacrifice a couple more feints. But there is a cost benefit to it versus something like a Gengar. It's going to feint way more than something like Chandelure would with 53 feints, and then it's not even in that top 2 option. So I think it's time to officially say Chandelure is the best non-legendary Ghost type attacker in Pokemon Go. Bye-bye Gengar, you have been great, but I am personally going to go for Chandelure over Gengar, at least long term. So now that we have talked about that, it's time to take a look at it from the Fire perspective. I thought it would be smart to go up against a Scizor because of its typing. It is definitely going to accent those Fire type Pokemon. And here we go. Chandelure is sweeping the board. It is in at that #1 position with Fire Spin and Overheat, outperforming a Moltres. Oh my gosh. These non-legendary Pokemon are not letting these legendary Pokemon rest. it is taking over that number 1 spot. I would love to see a ratio of non-legendaries versus legendary, but Chandelure just absolutely crushed it from this perspective. So excited for Chandelure. But hey, let's go ahead and take a look at it, right? We got 7 feints and 5 feints. That's really not that big of a difference. So I am so excited about Chandelure. I think Chandelure is going to take this game by storm. And hopefully taking a look at both of these raid results is kind of letting you know that you need to be focusing on Chandelure. So yes, the results are insanely good on the raid side. Unfortunately though, on the PvP side, this Pokemon is not good at all. It didn't rank out in any of the leagues, but that's mostly for the fact that it is a complete glass cannon. So yes, you are going to want to use it from the raid side. As far as powering up this Pokemon, I mean, why not? It could potentially get beat by some other legendary Pokemon from Generation 5, but we don't know exactly when those are going to come out, so kind of see this Pokemon as a number 1 option kind of until it ends up getting replaced. And then the only other potential option that I could see that has a shot at it from the non-legendary standpoint is probably Volcarona from the fire typing. So you can keep that in mind, but even then, that's not going to make Chandelure worse per se. It might get dropped down to that number 2 spot, but it's still going to be a solid option and what I would consider a budget option considering it is a non-legendary Pokemon. As far as unlocking a secondary charge move, I'm going to say no on this one. I would personally rather have 2 Chandelures. One where we focus on the ghost typing and then the other where we focus on it from the fire typing. That's my own personal opinion. If you do want to go back and forth, it could be worth it, I guess, if you have a lot of TMs, but unlocking that secondary charge move is going to be expensive at 75,000 Stardust, and I personally don't want to spend that type of Stardust, at least in my opinion. Anyways, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and let me know how excited you are about Chandelure, and then of course what Pokemon you want me to perform a deep dive on next, and I will see you next time. If you want to develop a deeper connection, I would highly recommend you to check out Patreon. We've got a lot of really cool things going on over there. Check out all of these supporters that we have. We are almost up to 100. We are also posting some special content, some behind the scenes work. And if that is the type of thing that interests you, I would highly recommend you to check it out.